There are 4 mask shards and 2 memory lockets that can only be obtained after reaching Act 3 in Hollow Knight Silksong. All of that will be covered in this guide, and as usual, useful timestamps can be found in the video description. To start, both the Silk Soar and Elegy of the Deep Needolin Song are required to get one or more of these upgrades. If you don't have either of those, I have a previous guide that shows how and where to get them. I'll leave a link to it near the bottom of this video's description. I'm also going to be using the Plasmium Architect build for some of the more challenging sections and boss fights. We'll start at Bellheart, where our Silk Soar ability can be used to find the first of 2 memory lockets just above the town. While we are here, we should grab the Dark Hearts quest from the Wishboard, which will have us defeating 12 unique Void Masses. These can be found at specific locations throughout Pharloom and don't respawn after being defeated. There are more than 12 of them in the game, but we will just be covering 12 in this video. Also, if we want, we can complete the Fatal Resolve quest while getting one of the mask shards in Mount Fae. For that quest, we'll first need to visit the Pinstress Hut in Western Blasted Steppes. It's a bit of a detour, but there is also a Void Mass that we can destroy along the way. After inspecting the note at the Pinstress Hut, we can fast travel to the Slab Bellway and move west towards Mount Fae. All of Hornet's traversals will make reaching our destination significantly easier when compared to our first trip up the mountain. Once we've gotten up as high as possible on the slab's exterior, we can jump and drift down to the west to reach the long horizontal section that spans across the middle of Mount Fae. Halfway across the icy lake, there is an elevated passage that can only be reached with the Silk Soar ability. There is a magnetite sample to the west that can be collected for one of the constructions in our Bell home. Our destination is to the east though, in the Brightvein cave. A platforming section is waiting for us there, involving multiple Nemenids and Nemenords. Also, I'm sure there is a more efficient and graceful way to reach the top of this chamber, but I'm just going to show what I did for it. As far as I'm concerned, if it works, it works. Once we reach the top platform, we can Silk Soar for a final time to get our first mask shard. If you do plan on completing the Fatal Resolve quest while here, I recommend journeying to the peak of Mount Fae to rest at a nearby bench. It's the closest respawn point to the Pinstress, located a short distance down the mountain. She'll need to be defeated to complete the quest, and she is a very tough opponent. We will get the pin badge as a reward though, and it is a very powerful blue tool. Obtaining 2 mask shards and the last memory locket all require completing some or all of the main Act 3 quest step to get the Hunter's Heart, so let's go do that now. I believe this shortcut to Hunter's March gets blocked back off at the start of Act 3, so I'll be heading through the march starting from the west entrance in the Marrow. Along the way, we can destroy our second Void Mass. Also, the one gauntlet area near the end of Hunter's March gets revamped for Act 3, and it's challenging to say the least, so prepare accordingly. Once we get to the vertical chamber at the east end of Hunter's March, we can go to the small chamber with the stone statue and use our Silk Soar there. Doing so will bring us to a new region of Hunter's March that eventually connects to far fields and also makes a new area in it accessible. Moving into that new section of far fields, we will then go through it to the east, dropping down where necessary to keep going. At the eastmost corner of Far Fields is the cavernous corpse of an ancient bug. Inside, we'll find a new NPC by the name of Sprintmaster Swift. Speaking to them, we'll start the fastest in Pharloom quest, and we will need to defeat Sprintmaster Swift in 3 separate races, each a bit more difficult than the last. As a side note, if we ever fall off track so badly that we won't be able to catch up, we can play our Needolin to quickly forfeit the race and then try again. I'll go ahead and show a 1-lap example from each race, and the main tips I can give are to use the claw line at the end of jumping sections for extra speed and distance. Also, if you hit the Sprintmaster while using the claw line, it will stun him for a moment, allowing you to take the lead. Winning the first race will get us a rosary necklace, and the second will get us a beast shard. Finally, winning the third race will complete the entire quest and get us our second mask shard. Moving back out into the west, we can go up the first vertical passage that we see. This leads up to two of our objectives, and there is also a third void mass along the way. After exiting the chamber with the void mass, we can move west briefly to unlock a shortcut. We can then go back and up another vertical passage to reach the bench for this area. Going down into the east of the Hunter's Heart waypoint will take us through a secret passage and to a corrupted Skarrguard. Defeating it will unlock the nearby gate and allow us to grab our final memory locket. If we need to heal, we can go back to the nearby bench, then make our way to where the Hunter's Heart is. Architects should top off their shell shards before playing the Elegy of the Deep, as any shell shards that are used during the memory battle will be restored after dying or succeeding. Just don't save and quit, as I did that once and lost all the shell shards that I used in that attempt. I sort of brute forced this boss with tools and don't really have any specific tips beyond that. I do have a guide on how to make this build, which I will leave a link for near the bottom of this video's description. Besides that, I'll just let the rest of the fight play out. After defeating the Skarrsinger, we can collect the Hunter's Heart before returning to the nearest fast travel station. It's probably a good idea not to rest at any benches as we go to Bellheart to accept the Hidden Hunter quest, which should now be available after getting the Hunter's Heart. That way, we can just save and quit to respawn at the bench in Eastern Far Fields, which is pretty close to the destination for the Hidden Hunter quest. Make sure you are ready to fight before inspecting the tracking objective, as doing so will throw us into a battle with a tough boss. Gurr the Outcast hits like a truck, and once again I brute forced it with Architect and will just let the fight play out. After defeating Gurr, we should watch out for traps as we move into the western chamber to retrieve the grass doll. Turning this in at the Bellheart Wishboard will complete the quest and get us our third mask shard. This is a bit of a tangent, but I also got the cross summons the next time I rested after defeating Gurr, so perhaps that is a trigger for getting that. Last but not least, let's quickly go through 9 more Void Mask locations. On top of the 3 that we destroyed while getting the other upgrades, it should be enough to complete the Dark Hearts quest for the final Act 3 Mask Shard. There are actually more than 12 Void Masses in the game, but all the ones that I'm showing are pretty easy to locate and in early game areas. There are 5 spread across Bone Bottom and the Marrow, 2 in Far Fields, and 3 in Greymoor, though we only need 2 of them to complete the quest. We can then return to the Bellheart Wishboard for our final Mask Shard. If you followed my guides on how to get all Act 1 and 2 Mask Shards and Memory Lockets, then you should now have 10 Masks of Health and 20 Memory Lockets, which is enough to fully expand all crests in the game. There is also a guide for all Silk Spools to double Silk capacity, and I'll leave links to all of these in the video description. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me in the comments where I will do my best to help. If you want to see more great content, you can head over to my channel, and if you're new, consider subscribing. You're helping me feed my cat. Her name's Marshmallow. Have a great day. If you're here today, have a great Monday and a great week. And as always, thanks for watching.